Here we are, recording live on September 10th, and we have tons of QAnon posts, as you probably know. We are talking significant number, and this is about prepare your memes. So exciting times here. I'm on a hotel, as you can tell, and if you ever want to see me live, you're going to have to make sure that when you subscribe, right to the right, there's a little bell, and it has to be highlighted, and it has to say all notifications. And by the way, YouTube's turning that off significantly to occasional or none. So you have to check that every few days if you ever want to get your notifications. And obviously your notifications have to be coming to your front screen from YouTube as well. So here we are. We are talking major things. Let's look at who's coming on. We got tons of things. This TV's not the best, so very low resolution. I can see like 4 at a time, but we got people from Pamela from Mexico. What was that? New Mexico, and Eon Donald from other places. I'm gonna make this bigger since I can't even read it. So let me stretch this out. But I just wanted to say thank you guys for joining us. North Carolina here, John and Long Island and Itza, and I got people from all over the place. I really appreciate you guys being here. Maryland, Arizona, Tennessee, Florida, Minnesota. So let's get going. So here we are on, again, I'm in the Northeast. Flew here for a big client meeting tomorrow, but wanted to talk to you about prepare your memes. This is big. The storm is here, and Q's asking us to prepare memes. The reason is because memes can't be filtered and downranked so easily, right? So if you can prepare memes and even take a screenshot of a meme and repost it, then even if they do find a certain file name or whatever and try to downrank it, they're still going to be confused. So memes about the FISA and the treason and about all that type of stuff, we need to just really start nailing here. So again, this is QAnon September 10th. Tons of posts. Let's get right to it. Here we are on the ban of Anons. This is what we just talked about right there, but I'm going to go all the way back down to, there's 2 posts after last night when I did my show. So you had two after December 13th, and I think you had 12 or 14 today. It was just crazy. So here's September 9th, and we had, after I went off the air, these other 2 things came. So the last thing I talked to you guys about was this here, the last and final comments on Alex Jones, 2123. Actually, that was not the last one. I think this was the last one I actually went over. So yeah, so I think it was 2021. Here it is. Knowledge is power. We're talking about Thomas Drake. So that's where we ended. You can see that was pretty late on September 9th, on Sunday. And then we did the Bible study, etc. So here's the first one that we haven't covered yet, which was late last night. 2122 came in later, right? And it says, I love, and this is an Anon talking, it says, I love shills. Now at this point, even when this is over, some Mossad clown a-hole will still be typing useless division tactics out of his frayed handbook on to an empty board. Some people just don't know when they have lost. And then Q posts that saying, you're right, and then basically amplifies on it with last and final comments regarding AJ and Associates their attempts, logical thinking. So you look at this Jack Posobiec. So Jack Posobiec literally was activated the day that all the MSM started attacking us. So how much of a coincidence can you get? So Jack Posobiec of InfoWars and Rebel Media starts attacking QAnon at the exact same time that MSM attacks, right? He was activated at the exact same time. But if you look at what he has here, this is so funny. Just poorly done, this whole I know who Q is and he's been debunked. Not only was it at 21 seconds, you can see he put a Breitbart article in there that was 2 days prior to the article even being published. so he put a link to an article, and it was on the 16th was the article went him. And so it's really funny to see how poorly this was done. I'm going to bring this up. But you'll see, he says, reconcile. How can that happen? And so a couple of big things here. First, you have to notice this 941 stamp. That's Apple standard stuff. That says 941 on all their Apple stuff. Notice it's less than a minute because they don't want to have to change that from 941 to 942. That would be too much work. So if you wait until this says 21 seconds, you can see here if you pause it, it's not getting this 14 seconds. You see that? So keep on going. And you pause this at 21 seconds, you'll actually be able to read something. I think most of you have probably seen this by now. But you stop it at 21 seconds, and right here it is on the 14th, he puts this article, and you click on that, and it's the 16th article from Breitbart. So we saw that, probably a young kid showing us how easy it is to fake these logs. So this is like poorly done. If you're gonna fake it, at least try to do a good job. I mean, two major flaws that Q points out. Number one, they use the standard Apple screenshots, right? Which I'll go show you here in a second. Literally, if you just go Apple screenshots, whether it's a Mac or it's an iOS device, they always use 9:41 a.m. And so they used 9:41 a.m. here, and they made sure it was less than a minute. And if you do a 54-second video, what's the chance of it not crossing the minute? Very slim, right? You had to start at exactly 9:41 in less than 5 seconds because and he happens to be just 54 seconds because they were too lazy to change it from 9:41 to 9:42 when it got longer than a minute. And then to just post an article 2 days before it was even created shows you this was a complete fraud. And Jack Posobiec has proven himself to be an absolute shill, a fraud, and bought out, somehow is an anti-Qer for some reason. Now, bless his heart, he might be being threatened. He's done some great work in the past. So has Alex Jones. But they have completely become compromised, and they're doing fake stuff, trying to fake Q out. And it's not working. So we know at 21 seconds, sure enough, Breitbart article linked 2 days prior to the article being published. Reconcile. Note the time, 9:41, 100%. Note Apple stock images, 9:41, 100%. Reconcile. So you see this 100% means it didn't change. It didn't go from 9:41 to 9:42. And then Apple stock images, 9:41. Again, just go to Google. You do this yourself. I have this later, which I'll show. I'm just going to show you guys real quick. If you just go to Google Images or just go to DuckDuckGo Images, which I use, right? But the most common one people use is Google Images. And you just type in iOS screenshot. That would be a good one. And then you can also do Mac screenshot. And if you blow these up, if it's an Apple image, you're going to see it's always 9:41. I should have said, you need to say Apple. Apple screen. And you'll just see almost all of these stock images. If you go blow up on them, all of them will say 9:41. You can do this on the Macintosh as well. And now this is in Indiana Times. Yeah, 9:41, 9:41. Can you see that? 9:41. Ever wondered why Apple displays the time as 9:41 a.m. in all their ads? And so this gives an article of why they do it. Right? It used to be, although they show up at the time as 9:41 a.m., it's really used to be 9:42 a.m. And for that reason, obvious, blah, blah, blah. So it gives us a whole article about why they do it. But you'll see 9:41, 9:41 in all their ads. And what does Jack Posobiec do? He makes himself look like a fool by posting an article. Now they're backtracking and saying, oh, it was because of an error in the logging mechanism. No, it's because you're a fraud. That's why. And so, sorry guys, but I just have to call it out. I'm not about trying to make friends here or get subscribers. If I offend you, I'm sorry. Go move on. I'm about telling the truth. And the truth is that these guys have become anti-Q frauds. Okay, so reconcile. Here's a YouTube deal. Reconcile here. Again, and you can go look at it in more detail yourself. Now, attempts to deceive honest anons will fail. We are a threat to their livelihood plus class. Do not let their attempts corrupt good organizations. Think OAN. So Jack somehow got on this company that did some really good work in the past, right? So you can go look at some of these videos and some of what Jack's doing, where he's basically using this platform now to spread lies. And it's really sad that that's happening.
How easy is it to fake chat logs?
And this is the fake chat logs. I showed these yesterday. And basically in 53 seconds, this young guy shows you how you can basically just go through.
Obviously, these are fake. But this is an example of how easy it is to create even a scrolling video of fake Discord chat logs. Please do not be deceived by these fairly low-level and amateur attempts. And I'm not even that good at technology, and I could easily do something like this in 10 minutes. But credit to Breadbox for this. It literally takes about, between 5 and 10 minutes to make something like this, guys. This is not debunking Q. Jack has nothing.
Yeah, and so that was a different video than the one I showed you before. But again, it just shows that one guy went and did it in 10 minutes. He's not even that good at actually doing it, right? Here he is. For those asking, I talked with here's this for those asking. I am not JTF MAGA when they were vets for Trump and met Josh in 2016 in the campaign trail. I am not a member of that group, nor am I one of those sources. So it's interesting. He's trying to distance himself from these guys, but this second one actually shows where he was actually saying he is part of them. Months ago, I announced a task force of pro-Trump vets and IC was forming. We never stopped working on it. Many of the deep state stories you just kind of go on and you'll see there he is talking good about JTF MAGA, and that's him himself. So he is double talking. It's just really weird to see somebody that we once respected just fall off the cliff with false crap. So anyway, that's what that's all about. They want you divided. Stay strong, stay together. Here's Tucker Carlson saying the same thing. Division keeps them in power. And that's, so he's got a tweet here that just Tucker really talking about that exact same thing. And there's like 5 tweets here talking about the organized left is lying about a segment we did on Friday night. Our topic was diversity is our strength. The phrase our leaders use to end conversation rather than spur it. You hear it all the time. We ask, what exactly does it mean? Is it true? And the second one here says, here are the words from our segment. How precisely is diversity our strength? Can you think of other institutions such as a marriage or military units in which the less people have in common, the more cohesive they are? 3 of 6. Do you get along better with your neighbors and coworkers if you can't understand each other or share no common values? And if diversity is our strength, why is it okay for the rest of us to surrender our freedom of speech to just a handful of tech monopolies? These are the questions our leaders I think he meant ought. These leaders ought to be asking every day. How does a nation of 325 million people hang together? What do all have in common as Americans? Why should we remain a country? Nothing is more important than answering this. But our leaders aren't even asking these questions. Instead, they're trying to silence anyone who will raise them, while at the same time promoting mindless tribalism for political expedience. Division keeps them in power. So that's the whole point. Division keeps them in power, Tucker says. And there's Q saying division keeps them in power. So, deep messages there, all refuting, showing, hey, he's moving on. Because if you still believe Alex Jones and that they're not part of the controlled opposition, and that Jack Posobiec and Jerry Corsi or Jerome Corsi are actually pro-Trump and actually for the movement of arresting the deep state, then I'm sorry, I can't do anything for you, because they've been proven as shills. Now, they may be doing that for, we don't know what reason they're doing it for, but they're lying to us about Q, directly lying to us about Q. You need to move on. Be careful who you follow. That's my recommendation. I'm sure I'm getting a bunch of emails and people mad at me, but that's the facts. And Q's proved it right there for about the 5th time. Okay? And he's moving on. So there he goes. He posts it one more time and shows one more picture of this microchip guy posting the September 14th supposed fake. Supposedly that was September 14th because he posted an article that was posted on the 16th. So complete fraud is what this all was. Moving on from there, and hope I don't have to talk about it too much more. Here it says, just re-emphasizing, article date 9/16, post date 9/14. All right, that's 21-24 going on. 2025. Here we are almost at the end of last night. It says, Q knowledge is power, and Anon says, thanks and Godspeed. How do you know when something very big is about to drop? Attacks increase from all directions. All in caps. Ready the memes. FISA corruption. In kill brackets. You have more than you know. Keep up the good fight. We stand together. Q. So this whole FISA corruption thing is about ready to blow up when these 20 pages get declassed. I'm hoping it's tomorrow during the 9/11. That would be just such a cool, I think, tribute to people to show, hey, this corrupt false flags, etc., is now, look at the first movies being exposed right now. Is that not cool? Yes, that would be so cool. And again, but guys, we have to be voting. We have to bring people to register, bring people to the voting booth. This is a fight for our lives. It really is. This is a spiritual battle. Please wake all your friends up as much as possible and get them to the voting booths. Right? This is deep state wanting to take out Trump on November 6th after they get control of the House. It's not going to happen, I don't believe, but it could happen if we get lax. And that's why Q's saying, hey, we will do our jobs to protect the vote. I mean, they're going to do a lot of stuff to make sure there's not voter corruption. And that voting machines, just like they unrigged those 5 major counties before those 2016, they're now taking all the key states and making sure that they're auditing and making sure those Soros voting machine fraud is gone and killed. That's why they knocked out, in my opinion, all the supercomputers of the CIA, because I think that was part of the whole connection into potentially how they were doing some of the fraud. There's tons of different ways they were doing the fraud. We will do our job to protect the vote. Will you do yours? That means get your friends out, get your family out, get yourself out to vote. Fight, fight, fight. Q. 21-26. Now here we are in 21-27. And a couple posts from the past, 21-27. This is back on December 1st of last year. And this is key. Saudi Arabia controlled U.S. puppets. Strings cut. Remember, this is the House of Saud, the 3 pluses, right? D's dropping all around over sexual misconduct. First stage. This is 8 months ago. Look at this. Coincidence directly after Saudi Arabia? Don't you realize the war has gone public? This is back in December, him telling us that. List who will not be running for re-election. Coincidence? Phase 1. Easy to swallow. Loss of power and influence. Good time to prosecute. Just wait until next week. You are all Patriots Q. Whole point here is that they cut the strings to Saudi Arabia and good things started happening. So now he amplifies on that December 1st post and says, why are powerful, influential, in the kill box, people resigning due to past sexual misconduct allegations? I love how it does this. So basically saying that they were influential and they're not going to be influential anymore. Why are powerful, influential people resigning due to past sexual misconduct allegations? Why are these allegations now surfacing? 10-month span. So since December, I guess it's been a full 10 months, right? And why now? Human trafficking arrests up, of course. Saudi Arabia cooperating? Must be. NXIVM, that sex cult, got revealed, right? So obviously that could be happening. When does a bird sing? Eyes wide open. And then this is a housewife briefing. It says, coincidence, network being dismantled, sheep no more. And this is awesome. You probably have seen this before. March 13th of 2018, President Donald J. Trump is working to end human trafficking. And this is real key if you really read through this. It says, my administration will focus on ending the absolute horrific practice of human trafficking, and I'm prepared to bring the full force and weight of our government whatever we can do in order to solve this horrific problem. Donald J. Trump. Human trafficking is an affront to human dignity with millions affected worldwide. Human trafficking is a global atrocity that deprives millions of their universal human rights. Human trafficking, also known as modern slavery, affects people from all backgrounds at home and abroad, placing millions into sickening form of exploitation. Per the International Labor Organization, there may be as many as 24.9 million victims of forced labor across the world, with millions going unidentified and unseen. Children are especially vulnerable to this evil practice, as they account for 25% of the modern slaves. Victims are compelled to perform labor in commercial sex acts through the use of fraud, force, and coercion, reducing the value of human lives to that of mere commodities. The United States is a source, transit, and destination country for men, women, and children, both the United States and foreign nationals victimized by human trafficking. In fiscal year 2017, the Department of Homeland, DHS, Immigration and Customs Enforcement Homeland Security investigation initiated 833 human trafficking cases, resulting in 1,602 arrests and 578 convictions, and identified 518 victims of human trafficking. And we know that's increased massively this year in 2018. The HHS-funded National Human Trafficking Hotline received reports of 8,686 unique cases of potential trafficking in fiscal year 2017, identifying 21,640 potential victims. Annual illicit profits from human trafficking were estimated as high as $150 billion. Can you believe that? Demonstrating the substantial economic scale of this abhorrent criminal industry. Protecting the innocent, President Donald J. Trump is taking a stand against human trafficking, dedicating our government's full resources toward fighting this repulsive crime. The President Integrity Task Force to monitor and combat trafficking in persons, the PITF, is working tirelessly to address all aspects of human trafficking, as defined by the Trafficking Victims Prevention Act, the TVPA. It is the policy of the United States government to address human trafficking via the 3 Ps: prosecution of traffickers, protection of victims, and prevention of human trafficking. You hear that? The 3 Ps. Prosecution of traffickers, protection of victims, and prevention of human trafficking. In March 2018, the President appointed 9 human trafficking survivors to serve on the U.S. Advisory Council on Human Trafficking for terms of 2 years. President Trump declared January 2018 National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month. In September 2017, Ivanka Trump and Deputy Secretary of State Sullivan joined more than 20 world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly for the global call to end modern slavery to announce the State Department $25 million grant to the global funds to end modern slavery. In February 2017, the President signed Executive Order 13773, enforcing federal law with respect to transitional criminal organizations and preventing international trafficking. This order directed the United States government to identify, indirect, disrupt, and dismantle the transnational criminal organizations that engage in human trafficking. That's a direct threat to the deep state, obviously. In light of this impending Senate vote in H.R. 1865, the FISA legislative package designed to fight online sex trafficking, the Trump administration is hosting a roundtable on human trafficking to review and discuss the path on this critical issue. So I just want to read that because I don't know if anybody's ever read that. It's pretty short, right? But it's pretty vital. That is key. That it hits right into the teeth of the deep state. And that's why it says coincidence network being dismantled, sheep no more. That's right. Deep state. Human trafficking, you're not going to make any more money from it, and we're freeing those people. 2028, this is movie number 1 he's talked about, right? This is a beautiful thing. All in capitals here, he says, Declass of FISA will initiate the resignation, recusal, and or removal of Rod Rosenstein. Again, that's pronounced correctly. I talked about that last night. That's how he likes it to be pronounced, Rosenstein. Declass of FISA will initiate the awareness that all signers will be currently under investigation. Currently in the kill brackets and boom, in bold letters, right? Declass of FISA will factually demonstrate without argument the U.S. government under Hussein knowingly presented false evidence to FISC in an effort to obtain legal U.S. umbrella surveillance of POTUS, the identified target, for the sole purpose of influencing the 2016 election of the presidency. Not Russia, but Hussein HRC protection plus safeguard against possible loss of power. Firewalls, use of back-channel surveillance, spy insertions, body 1, 2, and 5 by UK, Australia, primary, activated under Director Brennan, Director Clapper, with PDP presidential daily briefings, regular updates, plus live streaming. Did you hear this? Live streaming of the White House Hussein non-oval situation room coordination. FISA full briefings down the House, the White House. Q. Whoa. We knew probably 75% of this, but this is the new stuff that's going to be coming out. It's going to link Brennan directly, Clapper directly. It's going to have live streaming to Hussein into the Oval Office. Guys, this is this just took the DOJ and the FBI and the McCabe and all this stuff and Loretta Lynch and Sally Yates and all that, and then just boom, brought in Clapper, brought in Brennan, brought in Obama. The whole thing's coming out. That's what those 20 pages are going to reveal. And movie number 1 is going to be woo. We're talking. This is going to be 100 times Watergate. You got literally the current president colluding with a candidate to surveil and take down with the intelligence agencies, the DOJ and the FBI and the State Department, all with foreign governments, including Australia. That's the first time I've heard that one directly, and the UK, to take Russian intelligence and take him down. That's complete projection. That's what, not Russia, but Hussein HRC. It's complete projection. That's treason at the highest of levels. And that's why the true corruption of the 2016 campaign is right here in movie number 1. And we have 2 movies to go. So this is the tip of the iceberg. 2029, Twitter, This is the proof that we have. And the next 6 or 7 might be a little confusing, but let me walk them through you real quick. This is him on, if you look at this, 14:35. So this is 2:35 Eastern time. Q posts something, and at the exact same time, Donald Trump has a tweet, which is right here. And this was requested by an Anon. Hey, to get the spirits up of the Anons, Q, would you please do some type of 0 delta for us? And so sure enough, they did it. It ended up being like, I think 10 seconds apart because of delay, but the bottom line is that they were sent from the device at the same time. So Trump sent his tweet the exact same time that Q posted at 2:35 p.m. 0 delta. And so this is just a link. Q's linking to just a guy, a patriot that you can go learn more from. Is Bill Mitchell, right? And he's talking just about this. Continues to expose the deep state with exclusive interview with Bill Bainey. So a really good interview if you want to go read about this, and you'll get more details about that. But the whole point of this was that this was posted at the exact same time that Q did an actual tweet. Again, 0 delta, they call that, right? 0.00 delta. And so you can see 2:35 p.m. today, 2:35 p.m., 2:35 p.m. So 14:35 is 2:35, right? So, and this tweet says, the storms in the Atlantic are very dangerous. We encourage anyone in the path of these storms to prepare themselves and to heed the warnings of state and local officials. The federal government is closely monitoring and ready to assist. We are with you. So let me ask you a question. What else could this tweet mean? Most people think this is a double meaning. That's what he does a lot of time. So this storm is what? It's the storm we've been talking about. It is here. are very dangerous. It's what is it? It's going to be dangerous because this FISA leak is going to make the deep state freak out. That's why they're throwing all their ammunition at QAnon, throwing all their ammunition at you'll see all these articles coming at Trump for the last. They thought it was going to come out last week, and so they threw the op-ed from the New York Times, and they threw the Woodward book at him, and they had all these articles, and that didn't work. So now they have all these 4 a.m. talking points coming out. Now again, you'll see like 20 of them saying, "Oh, he's going to be impeached. He needs to be out of there because of the 25th Amendment." They are panicking. It's dangerous times. We encourage anyone in the path of these storms to prepare themselves. So we have to be prepared for the deep state freaking out and false flags and all kinds of things going on. So that's why this is National Preparedness Month. October could be really ugly. So make sure you have flashlights in the house. Make sure you have food and water, and in case there's any disruptions of any case, and make sure you protect yourself. Pack if you get yourself trained to shoot a gun, etc. Get yourself ready to protect in case they freak out, okay? The federal government is closely monitoring and ready to assist. So the National Guard is going to potentially be out. If Soros gets all his thugs out there, we are with you. So this is the double meaning that the storm is here. This isn't just about the hurricane. This is about the big hurricane, national hurricane of the FISA being released. The storm is here. All right. Trying to see what this is showing me. 1,040 of you on. Appreciate you guys joining me today. I know Monday's kind of a hard day for people, but boy, when Q posts, it creates traffic to all the channels. And all the tide floats all boats. That's why I talk a lot about other QTubers that are now Alex Jones is attacking some of the people that are discrediting Jack Posobiec. So I may be attacked here. But there's another guy that has, I can't remember his name. It's Dustin. I think Dustin Nemo. It's another QTuber, and he clearly just showed Jack Posobiec to be a fraud, which he is, and now Alex Jones is attacking him. So it just shows you that, boy, we've got a very sophisticated enemy here. It's the fake news media have now went and taken control over the independent media. And so you notice how Alex got Cernovich, and he got Corsi, and he got Jack to all come on his and had the control there. And now somehow they've figured out a way. Looks like it's something to do with the Mossad, has some way to direct all them against now all of us that are just trying to tell the truth. We're just reading QAnon, taking common sense, letting you guys think for yourself. Q's telling us to think for ourselves. It's become very obvious that this is true. The storm is here. It's an exciting time. It's the Second American Revolution, and we have the very independent people that woke some of us up attacking us. That's how sophisticated this enemy is. And so they probably are framing them or bribing them or doing something to get control over them, but they have control over them. Isaac Green, David Seaman, they've got control of them all. Somehow, some way, they got control of them. Whether it was money, whether it was who knows. But whoa, we are in a war of sophisticated enemies, and it's really important that you understand that. And so anyway, here's the Zero Delta in 2130, 2131. Sarah Carter article. This is so awesome. I didn't get a chance to see. I was traveling, 4-hour traveling from Dallas to the East Coast, and new text, and the stupid Wi-Fi didn't work. I was so frustrated. So anyway, new text reveal FBI leaked information to the press to damage Trump. And so these new texts, if you go read them, are just like, whoa. So I did get some of that study in, and it's going to clearly show, these new texts alone show that Weissman, literally the henchman for Mueller, is completely involved in this and was involved in it very early, the whole with Bruce Orr and Christopher Steele. So this whole Mueller investigation is going to crash once they continue to go down here. And it was clearly the biggest part about the text messages that came out today was that there was clear purposeful leaks. Even Lisa Page was talking to, Peter Strzok was talking to Lisa Page about, hey, we need to coordinate the leaks to the newspapers. And literally we're talking about this. And then Lisa Page obviously went and did it. And he said, good job, Page. After she leaked articles that came out in the Washington Post, the biggest puppet, besides the New York Times and Washington Post, two of the biggest puppets of the deep state. And Washington Post is posting an article about these specific topics about Page, about the other Page, which would be Carter page, right? So it's like, whoa, they were literally leaking stuff and using it as evidence. I mean, that is like more criminal treasonous than you can imagine. That's called framing and lying and et cetera, right? Here's something that he basically just posted, and unfortunately they didn't do a good job pulling that into these publications, so you have to go find it for yourself. And I think I went and found this, so if you give me a little second. I think it was pointing to this 8chan, so you have to actually click on it and go to the 8chan. It was talking about this buckle up, buttercups. It's about to get bumpy, right? And this person's saying here, this presidential, here it is. Sorry, we are late. We have been busy. What, you thought we were playing games? Okay, burnout taken. Phase 2 before Thanksgiving. Buckle up. In the meantime, vote. POTUS won before there was the idea of Q. POTUS needs your support. Vote. Being a friend. It's okay to be concerned about the future of your country. It's okay to be concerned about the future of your family. It's okay to be concerned about your future. Don't let anyone call you a bot, shill, clown, confiscate, concerned fag, etc. for being concerned. Disagreeing with other anons doesn't make you a bot, shill, clown, or concerned fag. It makes you human. Being concerned about the future of your country, family, or yourself doesn't make you a bot, shill, down, or concerned fag. Being concerned about the future of your country, family, or yourself makes you a patriot. Do not be ashamed. Go vote. Let your voice be heard. And there's another one that this might be posting to. It also talked about, hey, the last time they did a zero delta was when they were talking about the JFK files. So a couple of interesting points there about what 2132 might mean. If you have a different interpretation, let me know down in the comments below. Here we are on 2133. Here's this buckle up, buttercups. It's about to get bumpy. And that's where a lot of think that these two were very similar. So what you do is you click on this right here, 21. You click on it right here, and it's going to bring you automatically to the sites. So I think I jumped ahead and gave you the one for the future one. So I'm going to go up and bring this. And you have to be patient here because it actually goes to the board, the 8chan board, and then it resets where that was. And so it'll take a second to get there. But again, we're looking for 29 and it ends at 85. Starts at 2985. So if we find that, we'll probably know what Q was referring to when he reposted this. Usually they eventually get it there. And so 2985. See, I don't see it real easy. This says go vote. Bring your friend. POTUS needs your support. PSB, Sather, Medic, Nemo, Beans, Expect Pain, Coleman Rogers, Expect Prison. So I'm not sure if that, I don't think that's the one he was referring to though, because sometimes it's more difficult to find this, but I'm looking for this one that says it could be 2942. Let's see if I can find 2942. Those of you who are better with this might be able to, usually I can find, oh, there it is, 2942. Here it is. All right, I found it. So this was reposting, and I'm going to click this one more time to see if I can get this bigger. Hopefully. It's resetting again. Come on, puppy. Show me. No, that didn't do what I wanted to do. 8chan's not the easiest thing to use, but it was another post of more detail around a meme, around some of the posts that we've already seen, but it's just too small for me to see it. See if I can blow this up. Can't really. It says this is basically his tweet, and it's showing the two things. Oh, I see. No POTUS tweets today yet. Q. How about a zero delta to encourage the anons? Okay, that's what it was. Okay, I just figured it out. So basically, this whole thing right here was the discussion where the anon asked, "Hey Q," this is before he did all this, the timestamp and all that, and the zero delta. How about a zero delta? He asked for it. So that's what 2132 was about. 2133 is about getting out and voting. Don't be concerned. Get out there, right? That's what 2133 is all about. Now 2134. Here we go. The DOJ, FBI classified leaks to fake news. Insert into FISA app in effort to provide new sources. Number 198, 9718. So in general, so basically here on 9718, we learned this, right? So now we know that there's all these fake news are being created as sources. Huge news leak today. Now today, there's another article coming out that from Sarah A. Carter, again, sarahacarter.com, says the 9/10/18 letter from MRM to Dag Rosenstein, right? That actually, and this is a very good, I've got to read this to you because this is so good. It's about a page and a half long. But one of the key quotes we're going to read in there is, review of the new documents raises grave concerns regarding an apparent systematic culture of media leaking by high-ranking officials at the FBI and DOJ related to ongoing investigations. Because I think this is treasonous. I think the whole media leaking thing, especially if there's any classified information in there, that is dereliction of duty, boys, I tell you. So this is Mark Meadows, Goodlatte, and Gowdy, right, that have done this. And it basically is to Rod Rosenstein, basically saying, Mr. Rosenstein, as you may know, we recently received a new production of documents from the department providing greater insight into the FBI and DOJ activity during the 2016 election and the early stages of the Trump administration. Our review of these new documents raises grave concerns regarding the apparent systematic culture of media leaking by high-ranking officials at the FBI and DOJ related to ongoing investigations. Review of these new documents suggests a coordinated effort on the part of the FBI and the DOJ to release information to the public domain potentially harmful to the President Donald Trump administration. For example, the following text exchange should lead to a reasonable person to question whether there was a sincere desire to investigate wrongdoing or to place derogatory information in the media to justify a continued probe. Look at this. This is April of 2017, right? Here is Peter Strzok. Contacts Lisa Page to discuss a media leak strategy. Did you hear that? A media leak strategy. So it's a systematic thing. It's not just one time. Specifically, the text says, quote, I had literally just gone to find this phone to tell you I want to talk to you about media leak strategy with DOJ before you go. Oh, that is a killer text. And on April 12th, Peter Strzok congratulates Lisa Page on a job well done while referring to her two derogatory articles about Carter Page. In the text, Strzok warns Page two articles are coming out, one which is worse than the other about Lisa's namesake. Strzok added, well done, Page. While these two text messages alone are troubling enough, events surrounding these interactions call the motives of the investigation team into questions. For example, why Strzok and Page texted about the media leaks on April 10th through 12th, 2017, during the same time frame as the FBI and DOJ officials were having conversation with reporters. The Washington Post broke a story on the Carter Page FISA applications on April 11th. Look at that. So they're talking about this on April 10th through 12th, and sure enough, the article comes out on the 11th, setting off a flurry of articles suggesting connection between President Trump and Russia. Other documentation indicate DOJ officials, specifically Andrew Weissman, the henchman, participated in unauthorized conversations with the media during this same time period. Evidence suggests senior officials at the FBI and DOJ communicated with other news outlets beyond the Washington Post as well. During our interviews with Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, FBI attorneys consistently suggested witnesses could not answer questions due to the attorney's manual policy for ongoing investigation. However, documents strongly suggest that these witnesses discussed the ongoing investigations multiple times with individuals outside of the investigative team on a regular basis. Our task force continues to receive troubling evidence that the practice of coordinated media interaction continues to exist with the DOJ and the FBI. While this activity may be authorized and not part of the inappropriate behavior highlighted above, it fails to advance the private march to justice, and as such warrants your attention to end this practice. In light of the new information, our task force is requesting to review text message, emails, and written communication from FBI and DOJ officials Stu Evans, Mike Corton, and Joe Pentka Between June 2016 2017, to be clear, we are not suggesting the wrongdoing of the part of Evans, Corton, and Penka, and in fact, previously reviewed documents suggest that some of these individuals may share the committee's same concern. However, these additional documents, with the emphasis on the communication between the aforementioned individuals and Peter Strzok, Andrew McCabe, Lisa Page, Bruce Orr, and Andrew Weissman, would provide critical insight into the backdrop of the Russia investigation. Your attention to this matter is greatly appreciated. Again, Meadows, Goodlatte, and Gowdy. This is huge, guys. So now, not everything I just told you about, not only everything we already knew about McCabe and Comey and Loretta Lynch and Sally Yates and all the unmasking and all this stuff they've been doing to spy and sending the spies in there and pushing information with all this stuff and all the stuff we know about and read about, right? The new information is clear media leaking strategy to frame the president, as well as these spies, okay? And then use that evidence for the FISA to actually be able to spy, continue to spy. And and then you have Weissman, part of the special counsel, working with the media, and the DOJ working directly with the media, and the FBI looking directly with the media. Complete corruption and the entire government to try to take down Trump and not let him get elected and then impeach him later. This is crazy, and this is only movie one, remember? 2134. 2135 is just all kinds of examples of how the deep state is panicked, and they're throwing all their bullets everywhere. And how do you know when something very big is about to drop? Attacks increase from all directions. This is funny. This Anon says, Q knowledge is power. Thanks and Godspeed. I think that's right. Q knowledge is power. And he repeats a lot of what he talked about here. How do you know when something very big is about to drop? Attacks increase from all directions. Alternative media, the Alex Joneses, the Jack Posobics, the Jerome Corsi's, you've got the independent media attacking you. And then you've also got the MSM attacking it always, right? Attacks increase from all directions. Ready the memes. FISA corruption. You have more than you know. Keep up the good fight. We stand together. Q. And then he gives us a sample of literally like 15 articles all about impeaching Trump. Maxine Waters going on Trump about impeachment. Here's one that's, again, that was Fox News. MSNBC. Author believes multiple grounds for impeaching Trump. Here's The Atlantic. Jerry Nadler, Trump Democrat impeachment. NBC News. Leaders don't want to say impeach Bill Clinton. And then it says The Hill. You've got impeachment. It's got CBN talking about impeachment. Independent. This is 4 a.m. talking points, right? Robert Mueller investigation. Trump impeachment. There's polls about impeachment. This goes on and on and on. So they are on full-on panic mode, trying to get people not to listen to this, right? So that's why we have to be one of the few people that are helping our friends point them away from the fake news media, hopefully. This is a September. Oh, look at this. This is what I found on 8chan. This is an Anon saying, no POTUS tweets today yet. Q, how about a 0 Delta to encourage the Anons? And sure enough, at 14:35, as we saw, QAnon post, and at the same exact time, you had POTUS actually tweet 0 Delta Q. So just more confirmation. Graphic showing the 2 time zones, updated request 0. So they updated the graphic to make sure that it was there. And then he even amplifies and gives us more detail. So you can see this is the newest meme that even gives more detail about exactly what time it was and the 0 Delta. And you'll see the 10-second difference. It says gotcha Q, and it says Anons catch it all. 2 devices used, 1 carrier, pushed at exactly the same time, 10-second variance, device lag or feeder site delay, request fulfilled. So there we go. Just another huge proof to show that the shills trying to disprove Q are really embarrassing themselves. 2140, the link post must be added to the graphic. Request fulfilled Q, and then here this Q has, it's so cool. He says, make it and they will crumb. Just funny. I mean, because it's make it and they will come, right? It's based upon that quote. And he's basically make it and they will crumb, because they're bakers, right? They're the bakers that are baking the bread, and that's the crumbs. You give them crumbs and they bake it. So make it and they will crumb. It's cute. It's just showing how this movement of these brilliant anons, the bakers, going out and finding everything for people like me so I can present it to you guys, right? And they're doing all the hard work of really pulling all these links together a lot of times. God wins, this person says. And this is a Q, and this is an anon. It says, that's a perfect proof, guys. Request heard, delivered, no coincidence. Thank you doing that, Q. Thanks for doing that, Q. Look at that. And then somebody else says, anyone that complained about a 10-second delta would have complained about a 10-millisecond delta. Obvious answer was lag. Thank Q. Where we go one, we go all. And Q replies to those two, and he says, we thank you. Shills only shill. Patriots win. All capital letters. Q. Wow. Just a great day of post, obviously. Here we got even one more, and this is the one I used for my start of this video, and it says, just thought this was cool, band of anons. It says, there is a time when the world asked ordinary men to do extraordinary things. And the Second American Revolution is that we did it in the First American Revolution and now in the Second American Revolution. And this anon says, we serve at the pleasure of the president. And another anon says, there's a Reddit post here. It says, arrow up and share, share, share all platforms. And Q posts to both of these, basically saying the first one saying, hooah! And then this other one says, Oscar-worthy Q. Now, this is a meme that you need to be, please get it into your screenshot, or just once you see it, post the heck out of this, share it all over the place. In fact, if you wouldn't mind sending it to my Twitter, I'd really appreciate it. This is the thing that talks about the show. And it says, FISA-gate, right? And it's a really cute memo. I'm spinning right now, so I can't show you it. There it goes. FISA-gate. It says Mark Meadows, Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, Scott Perry, Stephen King. But then, so what I saw was actually shocking. It's so alarming that the American people have to see this. There has been, so it's basically just like you're going to Blockbuster and getting a video like you used to, right? This is the cover you would see with the movie that you're getting, and with all the quotes of all these people saying, look at this, you've got to come and see this. And it's got pictures of Obama and Hillary and Comey and Loretta Lynch, as well as McCabe on it. And there's a lot more than that. The most interesting thing we see is that Andrew Weissman being let in, them working directly with the media, and just the fact that you have now Obama and Clapper and Brennan brought in. So this needs to be updated, right? You need Brennan and Clapper here for sure, because that brings in the intelligence agencies. The DNI with Clapper, and literally the CIA, the head of the CIA, and Brennan, the two criminals that we knew about, working with the media as well as Obama to frame a sitting president. Crazy stuff is what that is. That's 2145. Just prepare your memes. Non-NSA tech today cannot read filter. And so that's the whole point, is the non-NSA tech, they don't have the video to basically be able to see, oh my goodness, that's an anti deep state thing. Let's move it to the bottom. Let's shadow ban that, right? And so the fact is, that's why he wants to do memes. First, if you just talk about it in text, they're going to filter you and they're going to shadow ban you, right? But if you just send memes all day with this stuff and take screenshots, so they won't be able to stop this flood of information coming. That's what we need everybody to do. 2146 gets into prepare your memes, and then he amplifies it and says, attention on deck, battle stations, memes at the ready, where we go one, we go all, Q. So this would like say, it's coming out tomorrow, but who knows? This might not even come out till next week, because they're just making the deep state freak out and use all their ammunition and look like fools. So we'll see if it's actually going to happen tomorrow on 9/11. I sure hope it does. Everybody's been waiting, and everybody thought it was coming last week, right? But boy, did they shoot off a lot of ammunition. That's exactly what we wanted them to do. Now he takes that same message and he amplifies on it again with a picture of New York, where the lights going up with no Twin Towers there, right? Saying, we will never forget, we will never forgive, Q. So I thought that was interesting as a Christian, that's a tough one. I will never forgive. I don't think I'd ever say that. But in general, we're not going to forgive from a justice perspective, right? From a justice perspective, you got it. We will never forget. We will never forgive. And that is 2147. Let me refresh to see if there's anything here. Wow, that was just awesome stuff if you just look at all that we got. And I'm already into this 54 minutes and haven't even got to the news. And there's some really cool news as well. I'm just going to quickly go over that. So it looks like that is the last post. So let me flip over. There's also a bunch of cool, you can go look at reddit.com, go to Great Awakening, and you can go look at every one of these posts and see the comments on them from other people that might have better insights than what I gave you. So go ahead, and if you want to get into one more level of detail on each and every one of these posts, go look at those and go look at the comments. Here's, I want to go through a couple other real quick pieces of news that I think are pretty amazing. Here is Anna Marino. See what this one was. Coffee sounds great. I think that's a different one. I don't want to show that. Here's the 941s. I was showing you this. There's a 941 on a Apple iPhone. Here's one on an Apple tablet, right? An iPad. And then you can even go see them on Macintoshes as well. So bottom line is that Jack Posobiec got completely caught. Hey, here's another. I could do a whole other video on an awesome post by SB2. So you really want to know why Trump tweeted treason, ? So go to reddit.com and go consume that if you like. There's like 9 pictures and 3 or 4 videos and really cool stuff. Basically linking treason to uranium-1 back to 60 minutes. Really cool stuff if you have time to go dig into SB2. Highly suggest that. I might go over that tomorrow if there's not a whole bunch of tweets. You've probably seen this meme. This is an example meme. We just need to get out there, but we want more probably on FISA Gate here pretty soon. But this says Obama saying, "Hey Trump, what magic wand do you have?" And then he says, "Abracadabra, mother effer." And he says, "Poof, high employment's gone. Poof, bad trade deals are gone. Poof, Paris Climate Accord's gone. Poof, high taxes and regulation are gone. Poof, Obama legacy's gone." And it says, "For the next act," pulling out a rabbit out of his hat, it says, "Hillary levitated into prison." So this pretty cool memes coming in. And it says, here's a picture of a Rothschild pointing Prince Charles, right? I think that is, or in the chest, right? That's not true. You know who that is. If you can poke royalty on their chest like they're your biatch, you may be a Rothschild. Yeah, so there's just incredible memes that are coming out here. Here's Brennan and Clapper and Mueller all laughing together. It says all shits and giggles until someone unredacts that stuff. So that is going to be amazing when that happens. The Woodward book is a joke, Trump says in a tweet. "Just another assault against me. It's a barrage of assaults using now disproven, unnamed, and anonymous sources. Many have already come forward to say the quotes by them, like the book, are fiction. Dems can't stand losing. I'll write the real book." I thought that was really funny. "I'll write the real book." So we'll see if Trump ends up doing something like that. Here's another thing that had 1.2 million upvotes, right? It said former Assistant Director of FBI, James Callstorm. And his quote is, "If there's actually is a grand jury now finally, and they are looking at McCabe, it can't stop at McCabe. It has to be another 50 people. I mean, I have a list in my pocket of all the people that are involved here." So everybody knows this. That's why we have 51,000 plus sealed indictments. It's going to be a lot more than 50 even. He's talking about this upper echelon there. If Trump is doing so bad, why is Obama trying to take credit for it? So really funny that they got Obama out there now. Declassify something. That's a picture of Trump. Even if it costs them everything, just do it. And it's got the 5 sitting presidents, the evil crew of 32 years of puppet globalist presidents that did whatever the deep state wanted them to do, whatever the Council for Foreign Relations and the 13 bloodlines wanted them to do. They just executed on it. and just took advantage of America completely. The evil crew of 32 is what Mark Taylor calls this, right? And do you know that 1 week before September 11th, 2001, the Zim shipping company broke its lease that it held for 30 years and moved out of the World Trade Center. Zim is half owned by the Rothschilds. Surprise, surprise. So that's the news I wanted to go through. Make sure you join me on Facebook as well as Twitter. Facebook, again, is Blessed to Teach. At Blessed to Teach with no spaces is the Twitter address. Again, send your memes there. There's the FISA gate. So all you do is I'm going to love this and retweet it. Somebody just sent that, so I appreciate that. And then I think you know that my quick commercial is no matter what country you're in, or we can probably help you with some services. I think I've had 60 people fill out surveys and only one person's bought services. And so I really appreciate you guys following through with your emails and really helping me work with Shannon and returning your emails and at least to help her out a little bit more than what's been. She's about ready to have me stop doing it because it's not really helping her. It's costing her a lot of time. I'm trying to jump in and helping her a little bit, but there's great services here. It's just a pain to change your services, right? But it would really be a big help, and it would again save money, feed kids, as well as get money away from the globals and help my wife out. The Novi is a no-brainer. If you have anybody that's doing, anybody that is doing credit card processing with Square that does over $1,500 a month, right? Over $1,500 a month. Then let's get the money away from Dorsey and Twitter, right? Square is a globalist company owned by Google, started by Dorsey and Twitter. So I really appreciate you guys filling out the little survey, contacting us, and we have one person that got on it, and a doctor. So we want you know who you are. So thank you so much. So Shannon did get one customer out of all the work I've done here for Shannon here. But I do appreciate you guys that have filled out the surveys. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, and you have to wait till you're out of contracts. I understand that. So let's get into a quick 2-paragraph prophecy by Mark Taylor, swordrescue.com. He said here on March 3rd of 2017, he said, the Spirit of God says, why are my people attacking one another? Why are my people engaging in friendly fire? Friendly fire will not be tolerated. Just because you disagree with that person does not give you the right to murder that person with your words. Thou shalt not murder. Repent. You will be held accountable for every word you speak. The religious, legalistic, and critical spirits that are on my people are creating division and chaos. Can you not see that you are being used by the kingdom of darkness? You are aiding the enemy. How can you take on an enemy that you are part of? You are using my written word as an intellectual weapon against my people. You brought up vipers. My written word was meant to be wielded against the enemy, not the people of God. Repent, you who commit spiritual treason. You think because you know my written word that you know me, but your hearts are far from me. Your intellect, your so-called knowledge, has created a spiritual arrogance, and your pride is separating you from me. If your written word was alive in you, you would not use it to attack my people. Repent. So if the written word was alive in you, you would not use it to attack my people. Repent. The Spirit of God says, where is the sound of unity? Where is the mercy and grace that I have shown you? Why are you not showing it to others? Why has your love grown cold? Put your petty differences aside. My love is unconditional. Love each other deeply. Love covers a multitude of sins, and my mercy endures forever. The love, mercy, grace, and unity that I am looking for will be what it takes in these days ahead to push back the forces of darkness so my gospel can go forth. These attributes are what's needed to be part of the army. I am looking for men and women of God to put their differences aside, come together in unity as their common cause in forwarding my kingdom. My army is making great strides against the kingdom of darkness, taking ground, holy ground, holding ground. They will be an unstoppable force in the days ahead. Unify, unify, unify. I am calling on my troops to unify now. All right. I think that's a big lesson for us. When we understand the Bible and start understanding the Bible, it's real easy at points in time to disagree with some type of teaching and just really talk bad about other people that have to take the other side of that argument. And a lot of these things are really petty, right? And so obviously there's big things like understanding the right God. And there's a lot of cults out there that teach the incorrect God or teaching a completely incorrect gospel. Those are the big rocks we need to stick with. And it's very, very appropriate at that time, just like Jesus said, you Samaritans do not know what you believe. Very appropriate to say, if somebody's trying to teach you the wrong God and teaching the wrong gospel. But boy, within those, we got people that are arguing over things like Pentecostal versus non-Pentecostal and all the denominations. In Catholicism versus Christianity, we all have to come together as everybody who has the right God and the right gospel. We need to come together, and that's what he's calling on us to do. So let me pray about that. Heavenly Father, I just pray you for unity. I pray that you unify all the believers together. I pray for many new believers that are just maybe tendentially listen to me now, want to understand how to have a relationship with the one true God, the creator of the universe through Jesus Christ. And he offers that as a free gift. What a beautiful thing that is, to have a free gift offered to us, that Jesus died for our sins so we can communicate directly with the one true God, and he'll forgive us of our sins because Jesus' blood covers those. And he is a sacrifice for us. So when God looks at us, he sees the perfect life of Christ. He's the Redeemer. He's our sacrificial lamb. What a beautiful thing that is, Lord. But we need unity, and we need to quit having our arrows pointing at each other and have our arrows pointing toward the deep state right now. We need to come together as patriots and unite and fight this enemy. We need to get to the polls, even if we've never voted before, even if we've never voted Republican before. This isn't about Republican Democrats. This is about keeping the deep state from getting power. This is about you being this whole patriotic party to make sure Trump has the power to be able to eliminate this deep state. Lord, please move on people's hearts to vote if they've never voted before. Move on people's hearts to bring other people to the registration booth. Move on people's hearts to actually get themselves, their family, their friends to the voting booths on November 6th. Lord, we just know this is a spiritual battle. We need to be praying about this. We're going to be praying for unity, praying that you'll continue to expose this evil, and praying that you just empower us to know how we can help in this great movement. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys, thank you so much. Do appreciate you taking time. I was able to get the TV working some of them are disabled, but I was able to get this one to working. I think we're already after the hour, so I'm going to not spend a lot of time here, but wanted to say hi real quick to Kathleen and On the Bench and Lou, Tina and Tommy, and was it Zenpak? Sorry, I mispronounced these. I'm going to go down further here because I was rolling so fast. Don and Roger and Lettertube and FISA and Allie and Terry and On the Beach, Tumbleweed and Christ Believer, Beach, Brenda, Larry, Adeline. Nice to see you two. Thank you guys so much for your service. Another phase as well. Nancy and Don and Lorraine and Miss Deborah and Donna and Christ Believer and Troy and Grace and Kitty and Double and David and Ronald and Albert and Brenda and Bill and Paul and Luis and Ada and what is that? Xenopec. Nicole and Clifford and Jason and Old Blue. Nice to see you guys. Great show, Jason says. Appreciate that. Pray for the victims of the family of 9/11 and pray for God's comfort. I hear you, Roseanne. No question. I like AJ and I like Q and Trump call me crazy. Nope. It's okay to like AJ, but realize that he's misinformation about Q right now. And that part of his news is completely false right now. So it's really sad to see that turn that he took. And that's going to really, Praying Medic say he's not even going to end up being having a show here in the future, at least according to his dream. And Praying Medic's been pretty accurate on his dream so far. So thank you, B2T. Thank you, Lettertube. I do appreciate you guys taking the time for coming in and joining me. Boy, there's so much going on. It's crazy. And what an awesome amount of information Q gave us today on a Monday, right? So we'll see how much more we get tomorrow, and this coming week's going to be awesome. I can tell. Rosenstein and Mueller still white hat in your mind? AJ's asking. Yes, 100%. They are the best deflection. They are the ones, the gatekeepers of the information, and they're the ones that are giving the deep state the comfort. And again, if everybody agreed with me, it wouldn't be a very good sting operation, right? So I like the fact that people don't agree with me, but I'd bet something on it if I was betting, man. Pray for the people in the hurricane. Yes, I think we need to pray for that hurricane to be reduced in power, because we know it could be. There's certain types of technology to steer those things once they get started. So they're going to try to steer it right into make as much news as they can. Bill 1943 abolished. Damien, I haven't studied that yet. Maybe I'll look into that. Roger Adams, good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Where we go one, we go all. Here, pray to stop the machines. Yeah, the machines are probably steering this thing, whatever that is. Vote, vote, vote. That's exactly right. Yeah, I think Pence is a white hat, Bill. I think he may have been kind of on a little bit of deep shade, and it was kind of playing his cards both ways early on. But now that the Trump machine's going and Q's working, I think he's coming along. I'm not sure if he's going to be. I would predict he's not going to be the vice president next term, though, because he's not as strong as what I think we could have in there. There's power in the name of Jesus. I hear you, Brendan. No question about that. But seriously, guys, prayer is just going to be as important as voting, right? Do both, though, please, right? Was the Bible ban in Cali? Oh, awesome, Damien. So if they repealed that, that is awesome. So yeah, California, we need to be praying for California. Man, they're about ready to fall off the cliff. That was part of the whole Soros plans to divide our nation, is completely destroy that. But all right, I'm gonna call it quits there, since we're well over the hour, guys. God bless you. I've tried to keep these shows to about an hour. This was Prepare Your Memes. Please send them to Blessed to Teach, to the Twitter account or to the Facebook. And let's get these memes rolling about FISA, about Obama being involved, about Clapper being involved, about Brennan being involved, and about the fake news media coordinating directly with the FBI and the DOJ with leaks directly created to create news sources to lie to us and to trap Trump. This is crazy stuff. And boy, did we get a lot of QAnon drops on September 10th. That's the show for today. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you next time.